Ecotourism is so prominent in Ecuador that the hotels and lodges you stay at are bird sanctuaries themselves. So our morning starts with a pre-breakfast birding outing around the hotel before leaving Quito for the Mindo Valley later. Ecuador has over 120 species of hummingbirds, and our first stop here at the Alambi Reserve should help us knock a bunch of them off our list. And this location proved pretty tricky to shoot. On one hand, there are hummingbirds everywhere, so it's almost like you couldn't miss. But at the same time, it became overwhelming to me and I didn't know where to focus. So my plan was to focus 50% on hummers that were on feeders, and then I was also trying to focus on hummers when they would perch in the trees close by. And sometimes the feeders were so loaded, it was hard to tell if there were different species among them, so I just did my best to try to move from feeder to feeder, tried to grab new species when I saw them. My favorite hummingbird of the trip was this white-booted racket-tail, such a unique-looking hummingbird. Obviously you can see why it's called white-booted, and I love that unique racket tail. Yeah, they look like little snow boots. And of course, I couldn't resist the opportunity to literally get hands-on with them. When they landed on your hand, there was a weird sort of prickly feeling that kind of tickled, but it didn't hurt at all, and it was awesome. And while the reserve's main event is the hummingbird feeders, their fruit feeders also bring in a wide variety of tanagers. This stunning blue-necked tanager was the early frontrunner for me as my favorite tanager. What a beautiful bird.
Line is under his shoulder.
After a furious session of shooting, our guide took us down to a river that was located behind the lodge because there was a chance that we could see a dipper. And sure enough, a dipper was there, but as soon as I pointed my camera on this rock, it flew away, never to be seen again. But the river did still have one surprise in store for us. Just on the other side of the river was this golden-headed quetzal, our first quetzal of the trip, a stunning bird. We then made our way to our lunch reservation, which sat on this balcony overlooking the cloud forest. And what do you know? They had feeders too. So after lunch, session number 2 got underway. And shooting here at these feeders was about as easy as it gets. You're pretty close, and it was just new species after new species coming in. It was awesome. And then someone called out a collared aracari off in the distance. I was able to see it, but it was in between two big trees and the footage isn't great. I was hoping with some patience, maybe it would come into the fruit feeders. The collared aracari isn't a rare bird or anything like that. In fact, it can be found in almost all of Central America and a large part of South America. But just getting that up-close look, it's such a unique bird. That bill, those eyes, the colors, it was absolutely a great way to end our lunch outing. Remember how I said at the beginning of the video that some of the best birding spots are the hotels themselves? Well, that's how we're wrapping this day up. We are birding around the grounds at our new hotel in Mindo, and we found some pretty good stuff.
He was chased by the flame from the duck-billed sparrow. That's what they're saying. No, it's not orange-billed sparrow. Right? Got into the right.
It was cool adding 2 new hummingbird species right before dinner, including this violet-tailed sylph, and then we also found this brown Inca. And then we also saw my favorite new named tanager, this glistening green tanager. A large bird came clumsily crashing in through the canopy, and it ended up being this crested guan. I love them. And to finally wrap the day was this squawking toucan up on top of the tree. Coming up in part 3, I walk up a staircase in the middle of the forest. I find some woodpeckers that look like they're really into no effects, and we got cows.